I'm Emily. Welcome to Kitchenasium. Today we are making a cake from 1939. It's so exciting. This was my great-grandmother's recipe, so I'm excited to make it today. We are making a chocolate cake, and then we are going to fill it with a raspberry whipped cream, and then a chocolate ganache on top. And more raspberries around it, and chocolate curls. So, to start, we are going to just take a pan, and we are going to take half of the bar of unsweetened chocolate. I am using Baker's. I am also going, and then we are going to put in half a cup of sugar and half a cup of milk. And you are just going to cook that till it boils. Now that our chocolate mixture is done, we are going to start making our cake. And to make our cake, we are going to take 2 cups of cake flour, and then we are going to take 1 teaspoon and a half of a teaspoon of baking powder and put that into our flour, and then 1 level teaspoon of baking soda. And then we are going to take in our stand mixer, our hand mixer, or you can do it all by yourself. Be strong and whisk it together. We are going to take our 1 stick of softened butter and cream it, and then after you are going to take it with your 1 cup of sugar and make that combined. And then we're going to take 2 eggs and add them in one at a time. And then you're going to add in our chocolate mixture, then our 2 teaspoons of vanilla, and then you're going to alternate with your dry mixtures of the flours and baking powder and baking soda with our milk, which is 1 cup. And then after that, you're going to add in 3 tablespoons of hot water, which that's kind of crazy, I think, because you usually don't use hot water in cakes, but it's from 1939, so I guess that's how they made cakes then. So let's get started. Now our batter has finished mixing and combining all together. I have already buttered my pans. And now you're probably wondering, this is a quite odd shape of a cake pan. This is actually, when we add in our raspberry whipped cream, it's going to make it look like a heart, which I think is going to be super cool. I'm excited. I've really never used it before, so I can't wait to see if it turns out to be a heart. Now we are going to make the raspberry whipped cream for the filling. Now first you're going to take a nice big tablespoon of raspberry jam. The raspberry jam is just going to add a nice pink look to it, along with more raspberry flavor. It's about a cup of whipped cream. So I'm just going to fold that in, which it gives such a beautiful raspberry look to it. Since I am using raspberry jam, if you want my raspberry jam recipe, go to my jam or jelly video. I think using jams add a nice over-the-top flavor to your cakes. And I think raspberries will go really well with a chocolate cake from 1939. So now I'm going to add in some raspberries. I also wanted some fresh raspberries, so you get that nice fresh raspberry taste and raspberry chunks all throughout. Now I'm just going to continue to fold this together. And this just looks so beautiful, especially now with all the different fresh raspberry chunks. So there is our raspberry whipped cream for the filling of our chocolate cake. Maybe I should just try some. This is really good. You really get the raspberry flavor. Now that our heart cake pieces have come out of the oven and cooled completely, we are going to add on some of our raspberry whipped cream. I've just put in a piping bag to make things easier and cut a nice big tip so all the raspberry chunks can just flow right through. Now that I've finished putting our raspberry whipped cream filling into both insides of our cake, I'm going to put the top piece into the freezer just to set up and harden a little bit, so when we flip it on, the frosting doesn't go everywhere. So I'm going to put this into the freezer. So now it's time to make our chocolate ganache. So you're going to take a big bowl with 2 packages of chocolate chips, a wooden spoon, and then we're using one of these things so the table doesn't get too hot, Now that our 2 cups of heavy whipping cream has started to get little bubbles all around the edge, we know that it is ready. We are going to pour this over our chocolate chips. And now we are going to wait 2 minutes before we stir it. So it kind of just melts all together, and then we are ready to stir with a wooden spoon. So I am now going to start to stir my chocolate chips with my warm, heavy whipping cream. Okay, now it is time to flip our top cake onto our bottom cake. Okay, perfect! So now we are going to cover it with chocolate ganache. I love when I make these kind of cakes. There's so much work into it, but it always tastes delicious. This is my grandma's ganache recipe, and everybody loves it. And this is our ganache cake. This ganache, it looks so good, and I'm really excited because I love the taste of ganache. If you don't know what ganache is, you should try it. Use this recipe, it's really good. Now that we've let our ganache harden up a bit, it's time to decorate it. So I'm going to decorate it with raspberries and some more whipped cream. So I'm going to start with just making a few little, and then putting a nice pretty raspberry on top. Now we are going to take off our parchment paper. And look how great that looks now. It looks so professional, and nobody has to know what kind of crazy mess we made. I think for a 1939 cake recipe, it came out really great. The cake was really tasty, so I hope you get to make it. Thanks for watching Kitchenasium today. I hope you've had as much fun as I have today. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and subscribe and like down below. And don't forget to comment on what you'd like to see me make next. Bye!